Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. In this episode, let's talk about the latest, greatest bike from Cannondale, and it's gonna be their newest Cannondale Topstone Carbon 3 for the 2022 season. So you see, Cannondale has literally recently presented their new Cannondale Topstone range, and I think it's a very interesting offering from Cannondale. So, specifically speaking about this Cannondale Topstone Carbon 3. So you see the retail price is $3,000, which I think is a very interesting retail price and also a very good price, I have to say. We will dive into the specifications and I will explain more. But first thing first, who is this bike for? So Cannondale Topstone platform is all about gravel road bike. So if you are spending majority of your time on the road, but from time to time you want to go a bit off-roading, nothing too demanding, or maybe you like bike packing, then definitely you should consider this Cannondale Topstone Carbon bike. It has so many mounting points, for example, for your luggage. So it's a very good design from Cannondale, and it also has a bit of a secret sauce in the way of this kingpin suspension at the rear, which again I will explain a bit more. So when we consider the retail price of $3,000, let's talk about the paint schemes on this bike. You see, there are two paint schemes, which is absolutely great from Cannondale. There is this very classical black paint scheme, and then there is this beautiful, in my opinion, quicksand paint scheme. So a bit of, hint of light yellow with a hint of red and black. Absolutely stunning paint scheme. I would definitely go for this quicksand paint scheme. And my opinion, I'm so glad that Cannondale can offer two paint schemes on this level of the bike with a retail price of $3,000. Now let's dive into the specifications and let's really see what do you get for your hard-earned money. As always, we can kick off with the frame and the fork. So you see, this is a carbon fiber frame from Cannondale with the so-called kingpin suspension system. It is also compatible with the Cannondale's Smart Sense system, so that means, lights, radar at the back, battery at the down tube. Of course, with this model, you don't get anything out of this Smart Sense system. You can buy it separately. This carbon fiber frame, of course, 12mm through axles, both front and the back. The seat post is 27.2mm. It is ready for a dropper post seat post, absolutely superb. And another superb thing is that Cannondale has moved from their BB30 bottom bracket, now using a BSA threaded bottom bracket. Absolutely superb, easy to service and replace if needed. And of course, there is a bit of internal cable routing in this carbon fiber frame and the flat mount disc brakes. Fork, again, carbon fiber fork from Cannondale with 55mm offset, flat mount disc brakes, and also 12mm through axles. So now, when we speak about carbon fiber frame and the fork from Cannondale, absolutely superb. I have no complaints here. And also remember that Cannondale offers a lifetime warranty on their carbon fiber frames and the forks. Now I just want to mention a bit of a secret sauce of this bike, as I said, and this is this kingpin suspension. So you see, the rear triangle of this bike has a low friction bushing which sits on your seat tube. So the rear triangle of the bike can have a bit of a movement. It is a carbon fiber rear triangle, so they have also incorporated a bit of movement into the seat tube and the whole rear triangle. So they are mentioning that with this movement of the rear triangle and the seat tube, you are kind of effectively getting a suspension at the back which will have approximately 30mm of the movement. And because they have used these low friction bushings, they have on average saved about 100 grams of weight comparing to the conventional cartridge bearings. It is a very interesting solution from Cannondale, and it will definitely contribute to the smooth ride. So this is something very interesting that you don't see on other gravel road bikes, so that's why I said it's definitely a secret sauce of this bike, this rear kingpin suspension system, where the rear triangle and the seat tube are moving a bit, specifically because of that kind of bushing a pivot point on the seat tube. Now let's talk about the group set on this bike. So what are you gonna get? you're gonna get a drivetrain which is a Shimano GRX group set. So now we have the rear mech and the front mech, which are Shimano's GRX 810 group set, and then the shifters are Shimano's GRX 600. So GRX as a dedicated gravel group set from Shimano, absolutely superb, mechanical group set, 11-speed group set, no complaints here from me. Just keep in mind that, for example, these shifters, they have went with the 600 series, which is just, a level below the 810 series, but it's totally fine, no complaints here. Chain that they have included is the Shimano's HG601 chain, so you can consider this chain on the Shimano's 105 level chains, absolutely perfect, no complaints here. Crankset, again Shimano's GRX 600, two chain rings at the front, 4630, and this crankset is paired with the cassette at the back, which is a Shimano's HG 700. Again, we are speaking about Shimano 105 cassette, and this is 1134 cassette. So now you see this huge range, 4630 chain rings at the front and 1134 cassette at the back. Absolutely superb in my opinion, because this is what you want on this gravel road bike, a huge range of gears, so you can spend long days in the saddle, climb any steep mountains and still be as fresh as possible. And as I said, this group set includes the Shimano BSA 68 threaded bottom bracket, which is absolutely superb because your local mechanic is going to be so glad it's easy to service. Braking system on this bike is done by the Shimano's GRX hydraulic disc brakes, so these are the GRX 600, and the good thing is that braking rotors are 160mm front, 160mm back. These braking rotors are okay, Shimano's basic RT64 rotors, so here I can definitely advise you in the future when you destroy these rotors, buy yourself a Shimano's Ultegra level rotors, just because of the ice tech, ice freezer technology, much better braking performance. So this would be the Shimano's Ultegra RT800 rotors if you are upgrading in the future. But as it is now, I'm so glad that 160mm braking rotors both front and the back, so definitely no complaints here. When it comes to the wheel set on this bike, you are getting a combination of WTB ST aluminum rims, which are tubeless ready with the stainless steel spokes, and this is wrapped in the WTB Riddler tires. The great thing here, again, tubeless ready tire, but this is a 45mm tire, superb air volume, such a smooth ride, and I would definitely advise you that even in the future keep this 45mm tire, any other brand that you want, or WTB, doesn't matter, but at least you are getting such a superb air volume and a smooth bike ride. I have to mention here that this wheelset, as I said, is a combination of WTB STI-23 aluminum rims plus the Formula hubs with sealed cartridge bearings, 12mm through axles both front and the back. I'm expecting good reliability from these Formula hubs, and the total wheel set, in my opinion, will be approximately 2000 grams, so 2 kilograms, but it's totally fine. Aluminium wheel set, what you want is a durable wheel set for your gravel riding, and I'm definitely sure this is going to last you a long time. Also, the maximum size of the tire you can fit on this wheel set is going to be this 45mm tire, so I'm immediately glad that Cannondale has included 45mm tire immediately out of the box. When we speak about some of the other smaller components, for example, handlebar and the stem, both pieces are aluminium, Cannondale aluminium pieces, so aluminium handlebar and aluminium stem, which is perfectly fine. I have no complaints here, and I'm so glad that these are separate pieces because there's no proprietary parts here. If you need to replace something in the future, it's very easy, and also adjusting your position on the bike is very easy because, again, separate pieces, handlebar and the stem. When it comes to the seat post and the saddle, so the saddle is a superb Physique Aliante saddle. I think you're gonna like it, but if you don't like it, saddles are a personal preference, so it's easy to replace this saddle with your preferred saddle. And the seat post is a bit of disappointment. So Cannondale has included an aluminium seat post, 27.2mm in diameter, but come on, Cannondale, you should have included carbon fiber seat post on this bike, because the combination of your carbon fiber frame which has a kingpin suspension on the rear and has a flex in the seat tube and let's say a carbon fiber seat post, this would be an ultimate smooth machine. This way I just have no clue why they would include aluminum seat posts, so this would be my first upgrade on this bike, and I wish that Cannondale changes this and just puts a carbon fiber seat post. They don't cost a lot of money now, and Cannondale buying a huge volume of them can really get it very, very cheap. Also, with this bike, like with many others, you are getting a Cannondale's own wheel sensor, so you can track different parameters to your onboard computer with this wheel sensor. So, in a summary, what is my suggestion to you? Should you just go ahead and buy this bike, or should you just consider it when we consider the retail price of $3,000 US? Again, I will mention that definitely a secret sauce of this bike is this rear kingpin suspension, where the rear carbon fiber triangle has a bit of movement around the pivot on the seat tube, and again the seat tube with the special carbon fibers has also a bit of movement, so it's a very, very smooth rear suspension on the bike. So, a retail price of $3,000 US as a gravel road bike. I definitely think if you got money, just go ahead and put a deposit for this bike. Go ahead and buy it. I think it's a very competitive bike price, and it's going to be a very, very good gravel road bike. Of course, now it is still not available in the shops. You probably need to wait a few more months, but definitely a strong recommendation for this Cannondale Topstone Carbon 3 with a retail price of $3,000 US. So, I think this is going to be it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing, and if you do, please do subscribe. Give it a like for this video because it's going to help in growing the channel. And of course, I will see you soon in the next episode. Cheers!